Okay. All right. Alrighty. So, I'm going to do the basic adventure in Lone Wolf. Welcome back, by the way. This is a Lone Wolf Cubicle 7 role-playing game, which I haven't played enough, but I've played a bit. I've played on my own. I've done some solo role-playing with it. And I've role-played it with some friends. And but I just, it's like I was saying before, it's such a great system for solo roleplay because the combat is so simple, and it gets out of the way of the story. So you can make it a little bit more intricate. There's advanced rules, but we're going to stick to the basic for now. This is first adventure. It's pretty simple, but then there's a second adventure that has more advanced rules. Maybe I'll do that down the line. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so basically, let me pull out a little bit here. Basically, this is the book of Kai Legends. Tells you, pretty much the basics of being a narrator and being a GM, and everything that's included here. Tells you how to use this book. See, I love visual symbols, colorful visual symbols, and this is awesome because it tells you, okay, when you see this red bird here, when you see this symbol, it means that you should read aloud the accompanying text. Green, when you see this symbol, it means you should ask the players a question or prompt them to make a choice. Okay, so when I see this green as a solo role player, I'll read the question out loud and then I'll make a decision. And then orange, when you see the symbol, orange swords, when you see this symbol, it describes a suggested course of action or activity that the players might attempt. And then blue, when you see the symbol, it means that you should use the game mechanics to resolve the outcome, and it explains how to do so. This is a great hold-your-hand adventure here. When you're ready, turn the page and prepare to set out on your first adventure in Magnamund. So, and I kind of read all this stuff already, talked about the players, hand out the sheets here, and so for example, we'll just do this just to warm things up. Let's see. Let's see here. Red. Read this out to the other players. You are. I'll use this pencil so you can follow along. You are going to each play a Kai Lord, a brave hero, out on your first adventure. There are 6 characters to choose from. Alright. Then take the ready-made characters from the box and place them in the middle of the table. Take each of the action charts in turn and read aloud the accompanying description. This is Bright Shield. He is brave and tough. This is Storm Sparrow. She is pious and outdoorsy. This is Night Fox. He is stealthy and skilled with a bow. This is True Song. She is inquisitive and honest. This is Moonblade. He is charming and sharp of mind. This is Dawn Thunder. He is quick and clever. So I like the one sentence character summations. I mean, that's great. That's really all you really need to kind of get up and give the character a dash of traits and personality and get going. And so we got the green question mark. Question. Then get each of the players to pick one of the characters to play and encourage them to read the description of their chosen Kai Lord. Tell them not to worry too much about what all the numbers mean. We'll explain them as the game goes. While they're busy doing that, read on. And then, so I'm just, by default, I'm going to play Storm Sparrow and Night Fox. Okay, stealthy, pious, and outdoorsy. Alright, so we'll look over the character sheets a little bit. Before we do that, this book comes with this awesome little handout. And not only do I like the art, but I love how that opens up kind of like a mini GM screen, kind of for the players. Tells you what each of the books do. The ready-made action charts and the blank action charts, and then this is the box lid there. And so I'll do the box lid method, then I'll do the dice rolling method, and then I'll do the pencil eraser method for you guys. I'll show you different ways of doing that, especially, you know, I'm all about on this channel role-playing in a limited space. When you just have a little bit of space to use, just a little table, maybe you're traveling, maybe you're eating at a restaurant and you just want to get some role-playing in. This is such a great channel for that. What do I need to play? You know, this it really holds your hand through the whole thing. Like if you're a brand newbie, you know, that's how they approached it. You know, there's the narrator, it's basically a GM, what's he do, and how the method, he kind of narrates everything, and it's, you know, you don't read, it says, if you're not the narrator, don't read the book of Kai Legends. If you don't want to spoil the surprises, feel free to read the book of Kai Training and Kai Wisdom. You know, real basic stuff. How do you get started? But this is the stuff I wanted to show you guys. First of all, this is a double-sided page, and it bugs me. I can't find this page in my stuff. It's got the combat ratio table, and it's got the equipment list. So who knows where the heck that's at in all my role-playing books. It's somewhere in something. And then we got the map of Summerland. Let me show you that, because I didn't show you guys this last time. So I went out to Kinko's, and I got it laminated. Okay. So this is Summerland. Alright. And I've been using this to role-play some of my solo adventures. One of the characters I made was a barbarian of Cult, and he's from the up north area here. So, see, you can see the Coulter Sea, and it doesn't look like much, but if you use the scale, you have the scale in miles here. You know, that to that is 25 miles, that to that's 50. So you just do the Egyptian measuring method. You know. And we start out home guard from home guard to, let's see, the Alima Bridge, about 50 miles from there to there. And a lot can happen in 50 miles. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's a nice little map, and then I can go on the other side, and it's more of a concentration on the northern part of the world. So that'll do the job. That'll keep you pretty busy for, you know, probably levels 1 to 10 at least, if not more. Unfortunately, you know, he didn't get, Joe Deaver didn't have a chance to expand on this too much. I mean, some of the other books go into it a little bit, but again, your imagination, you can come up with new monsters if your characters really get that hardcore and level up very good. Let me keep it moving here, and start. But I was showing you guys the tokens here. So it comes with player tokens, 6 of these. Don't lose them. You know, you can flip or drop it onto the box lid, and then the narrator tokens. So there might be some confusion, and I kind of was about when to flip. You know, when to flip those and when to flip these. It says the narrator tokens. There's 6 tokens each, painted with a different icon. These are used exactly as above, but they are used by the narrator instead. Alright. Maybe when he decides to, maybe it's a surprise attack or something like that. That's what I'm guessing. And now I'm showing you this, the Kai god here that they worship. It's here. Luck token. These double-sided tokens have the face of the noble god Kai on one side and the face of the evil god Nar on the other. When you need to make a luck test, just flip one of these tokens up in the air. If the Kai's face is showing, luck is on your side. If Nar's face is showing, misfortune has struck. And then down here, Kai's favor tokens are used by players to keep track of their Kai's favor. You won't need them in your first game, okay? So you can leave them in the box for now. So here we go. I'm just going to do this little bit here. Let's go. So we Night Fox and Storm Sparrow. Your adventure awaits! So here we go. It gives you some more tips for the narrator. You know, everything you need. Again, more basic stuff. This is called the Lost Caravan. This adventure is. Tips for the narrator. Don't forget that this is an introductory adventure. Let's bring it in a little bit. Its primary purpose is to quickly get you and your friends playing and enjoying the Lone Wolf adventure game. The basic game rules are introduced along the way so that by the end everyone has an idea of how the game works. It has been written in such a way that allows the players to overcome each challenge in a number of different ways. But the overall adventure follows a linear path. The adventure is designed to introduce the players and the narrator to the world of Lone Wolf. Teach the players something new and useful about the rules in each scene, taking them through their basic action chart and illustrating each entry so as to what it means and why it's important. Make sure each player gets to do something in an adventure, role-playing with each other, interacting with the narrator's characters and their environment, as well as becoming familiar with the mechanics of combat. And it tells you what the adventure is about. I get the gist of it. I don't want to... some basic GM stuff. You know, feel free to take breaks for the players to think about it. Take snacks, that kind of stuff. And it gives you all the scenes. I'm going to kind of skip that because I still want to be surprised a little bit. And scene 1, story so far. Scene introduces the player to their mission, lets them roleplay, ask questions of the narrator before they set off. There are no tests or rule mechanics to the scene. It's designed to provide the players with a reason for why they are adventuring together and to help them understand what is expected of them. So again, it's very basic. It's good too because if you've never DM'd or GM'd before, it's good on you to kind of use a book like this to learn how to do it. Even though it's not D&D, it's close enough. So here we go. We'll go into it here. And I'll read. Let's see, I'll get to page... I'll get to scene 2. Okay. So, again, Redbird. It is not yet dawn when you arrive in the courtyard of the Kai Monastery. Eagerly you await the appearance of the Kai femme-skirt Riverblade. She has summoned you here for an unknown purpose. Shivering in the chill morning air of the early autumnal day, you can hear the calls of the larks and collie sparrows beyond the surrounding walls of the Kai Monastery. You watch with trepidation as Riverblade makes her way down the grand stairs from the door to the quarters of the Skirden and the leaders of your order. "Greetings, initiates," she says. "Regarding you fondly with her kind bright eyes, I see that you have come prepared for a journey as I requested. This is good. We have received a request to help from the merchants for help from the merchants at the Alima Mitri. One of the caravans has not returned as scheduled, and they have asked us to investigate in what has happened to it." Riverblade pauses, regarding you all intently, excitedly, you come to realize that what this means for your fledgling Kai Skirden. You have satisfied your mentors that you've attained a sufficiency high enough level of competence in your Kai disciplines that they deem you worthy to carry out a mission in the service of the Order of the Kai. This will be a proper mission, one you carry out as a team. You look at each other. The significance of the mission suddenly becomes apparent to you. Riverblade begins to laugh. She is not mocking you. There is warmth and humor in her laugh, and the words that follow. "Yes, that is right, my young warriors. This is the moment you have awaited. The time is right for you to take your first flight together, away from the nest. Now, do you have any questions you would like to ask of me before I set you to your task?" So this is great because even though it's a little, little cheesy, but it's nice. You have what do they call that? Sensory details. So it gets you in the story here. It says, you hear calls of the larks and collie sparrows beyond the surrounding walls of the Kai Monastery. So that's good. You can kind of hear that a little bit. Sets up an atmosphere. Shivering in the chill morning. All right. Air is this is the early autumnal day, so you know the season that you're in. You're in the fall, and it's a little cold in the morning. So that's good. More, touchy and hearing sensory details, which is always awesome for solo role-playing for immersion. So, here we go. I'm going to pause and ask the players if they would like to ask Riverblade anything. Ideally, something relating to the mission at hand. So I'll stop there. Okay. So I'll Night Fox. He'll throw out a question here. I know it's, who is Night Fox? He's very capable Kai Lord, skilled in both combat and stealth. His bow makes you an excellent sniper, and your ability to move unseen allows you to get in position before a fight even starts. I'll just read one of these. Life can be very hard for the struggling poor of Askaban. Though Askaban is one of Summerland's richest settlements, there are many shadows there that are deep enough for families to fall into and never find their way back out again. I know this firsthand. I might have just ended up as another body in the cobblestones, but it had not been for the emergence of my Kai gifts when I was 8 years old. And I was tempted to pickpocket. I was taken. I went to the Kai Monastery. And so that gives you a gist. He's got a little bit of a, faulty streak. A little childhood thief, okay. But he's turning it around. Storm Sparrow. Who is Storm Sparrow? Storm Sparrow will play a strong Kai warrior. Most at home in the outdoors. Skilled with a bow and blade. They're a skilled hunter. I was found amid the ruins of a wreckage carriage and was brought to the monastery by passing Kai Hera, who heard my cries. Kai's grace is rarely subtle, and thus it came as to no surprise when my latent powers began to manifest themselves. Infants showing signs of Kai heritage are very rare, so that I have grown up with the honor of being considered especially blessed. Others may show a stronger sign of Kai's direct favor, but no one can deny he watches over me. So, there we go. It gives you a little background there. So, I'll look over this real quick. And see. Greetings, initiatives is good. You just have some merchants. Carry out a mission. Order the Kai. Carry out one of the team. Look at each other. Apparent to you all, Riverblade begins to laugh. She's mocking. The moment is right. Leave the nest. Okay, so let's see here. Did she say where? Let's see where this happened. Request to help merchants at the Alima Mitri. It's not returned. And I guess I could ask, where exactly do we know? The location where the caravan broke down? Was there any signs of blood? Any wreckage? All right. So let's see here. So questions for Riverblade. So that's what we ask. The players may ask Riverblade a number of questions relating to the mission. These are the answers, most likely. If the information below let's see. Don't worry, they don't ask these exact questions or all of the questions. You don't need to tell them all the information below. If they're struggling to think what to ask, you can help them out. Alright. Let's take a look here. Are there any merchants, or is it just their caravan that have gone missing? Alright, didn't ask that. What cargo was missing? And was the missing caravan carrying? What was it carrying? Is there a reward? Was the caravan guarded? So we didn't ask any of those. We just asked, was there any signs of blood or anything like that? So I could do it. I could say 1, 2, 3, 4. I could roll on a 4-sider and see and just come up. I could do it that way, and she just says that, or I could do a oracle kind of roll. 1 to 3 is a no. 4 to 6 is a yes. She knows. And then I can read out the one that's closest to the question. So I'll do that. So so he asks, you know, is there a wreckage? Is there any signs of blood? 1 to 3, no. 4 to 6, yes. No. No, I don't know, I'm afraid. That's why we're sending you to go check it out. And so we'll say, okay, let's see, I really should get a 4-sider since there's 4 questions. Or I could roll a 6-sider -2. But here we go. So there we go. 2. Well, the caravan was carrying full fur pelts and cooked meats from the home guard, the capital city of Summerland. So maybe that's what they're after. Alright. So that's closest. So that's one way to do it. I could have just said, okay, roll the 1 to 3, no, and move on. So that's one way to do it. So that's what we know. And I didn't ask any other questions, so that's what we got. Not worried about the reward. This is what we're supposed to be doing. Sky Lords, let's see. So fur pelts and cooked meats for the home guard. So I can jot that down on my notes. You know, keep something like this ready for your note card or a piece of paper. And move on. Okay, so we're almost to scene 2. Almost end of the first scene. Read the following to the players. Riverblade lifts her hand to indicate that she wants you to be silent. It's time for you to set about your mission. For I have many other things that demand my attention. I'm sure you are all aware that the success of this mission is important to those concerned. However trivial it may seem to some of you, remember, some small acorns grow strong summer-lending orcs. Riverblade pauses a moment and looks up at the crisp and brightening autumnal sky. A wistful smile lingers on her face for a few moments. Now, be on your way, and I will speak to you all upon your return. For Summerland and the Kai. With these words, the young Kai initiates pass through the gates of the monastery and on to the timberland beyond. And that's where I'll leave off. So it's a lot of reading. You know, I remember playing this with some friends, and I remember reading quite a lot. But the next section looks like it's got some actions that we can take. But I really like the approach. It's a slow, methodical approach. And again, the color, you know, the graphic design is great because it just pops out. And it's, you know, this is a, you know, an action. You know, these are questions. And that's narration. You know, it holds your hands quite a bit. So if you're an advanced player or someone who's played role-playing games before, you can, like, come on, let's keep going, let's get moving. But it's such a nice kind of, for the solo player, it holds your hands very nicely. And as opposed to just having a module where you kind of, you know, doing this all the time and kind of, you know, oh, I read too much. And, you know, you can see it coming right here. So that's cool. And they can stop and do something. You know, ask a question. Yada yada. So there we go. Let me know what you think. I'll be moving on to scene 2 next, and hopefully there'll be a little bit more action. I know it's a lot of reading, but you can have this on in the background or something like that. Yeah, there are 6 scenes, so I'll be able to break this series into, 6 scenes, hopefully. Some might take longer than others. So thanks for watching. Keep on solo questing. I'll see you back here in the next video. Thanks for watching.